Big Rab Show Podcast is kindly sponsored by G1 Reeds. They are the champion's choice, with many bands around the world playing G1 products, providing everything you'd need to hit the circle or the big stage. So, check out g1reeds.com as they keep the lights on here at the Big Rab Show Podcast. Hello there, everyone, and welcome to another Big Rab Show podcast. Oh boy, what a week that was! And right now, I'm going through some stuff, so I'll get into all of that. But yeah, I'd have to do the introductions first of all before I get into all the nitty gritty and all of that. Yeah. So, if this is your first ever Big Rab Show podcast, then you are welcome. This is the show for the bagpiping folk, and we reflect everything in the bagpiping world, be it Celtic music, folk music, or indeed our bread and butter, which is competitive piping and drumming. Each and every week, we're here talking about what we know and love to be the music of the Great Highland Bagpipe and its people. And, yep, like every other podcast under the sun, we do have a Patreon, and there hasn't been a better time to go and help support our show. Yeah, every click of support really does mean the world to us over there on Patreon. So, if you are so inclined and you would like to help support us, then head over to Patreon. Yeah. Whenever you do click on support, you will immediately be part of the Patreon faithful, and you will be immediately awesome. Yeah, but you'll also get your mitts on loads of extras. Yeah, like exclusive interviews, exclusive behind-the-scenes kind of sneak peeks and stuff, and performances, all of that kind of stuff, as well as our weekly Fuse FM Ballymoney radio show, actually, which last night was a lot of fun. Yeah, we delved in through the archives, and we were talking about collecting of World Championship CDs and stuff. Yeah, my collection is growing, and we were talking about that. Yeah, so yeah, it's such an interesting topic. If you do want to go and check out last night's Fuse show, it's up there now on our Patreon page. You can go click support and go and download it now. Yeah. All right. Well, as I say, that has been quite a week. We've had a lot of competitive piping and drumming over this past week, of course, notably with the Ulster solos. And I did mention that I was going through some stuff myself. Yes, unfortunately, due to personal reasons, this week's Big Rab Show will be quite a condensed version, where we will not have any of the news and updates. We won't be going through, the usual things like listener mail, weekly drone, or news and updates, who won what and where from all the competition over the past weekend. Yeah, unfortunately, I just do not have the physical time to be able to dedicate to a full episode tonight, so that's on me. My apologies. However, we did not want to let this week go without having a full episode for you guys. So we do have quite an amazing topic of the week, and you might have guessed by the title of this episode who we're going to be chatting to. Yeah, so Anna Smart. So we'll be chatting all about her work with the Rollin Drones and, of course, her solo stuff as well. So we'll be getting into all of that. Yeah. So, folks, just by way of a full disclaimer, the reason why this week's episode is different and we won't have any news and updates and stuff, I know that'll be a bitter disappointment to a lot of folk, basically I am going through some personal stuff on my end and I physically don't have the time to be able to sit, record, and edit and publish a full-blown episode, which normally does take a few days to produce, and unfortunately I don't have that time this week. That's on me, I guess. Life happens, and circumstances outside of piping and outside of the Rab Show sometimes don't allow for to be able to publish a full episode. So if you are aggrieved by this week's episode and you are bitterly disappointed, then please do send us in your listener mail, bigrabshow@gmail.com. That address again, bigrabshow@gmail.com. And we will bring your, comments, queries, all that kind of stuff to a future episode here on the pod, when I do have a bit of time to actually sit down and chat to you guys. Now, also, weekly drone, we've actually got a few of those in, actually. Yeah. Following the competitive action this past weekend, of course, at the Ulster Solos, but also across in the United States with the Las Vegas Games and others. Yeah, we've been getting a wealth of commentary in online. We also seen a lot of news happening down under with the banning of pipe bands playing at the Anzac Parade and stuff. Yikes, that caused a lot of correspondence to ourselves as well. So, yeah, there's a lot to delve into, folks. Yeah, so if you do want to send in your own thoughts and opinions and everything that's going on in the piping scene, then please do send us in your weekly drones. And we will bring them to a future show. I promise. JD is recording them as we speak right now. And they will be on a future episode. So again, folks, I know this kind of sucks that I don't have an opportunity to roll through all the results from the Ulster Championships, from the Las Vegas Highland Games, from all of that other stuff. Yeah, there was so much happening this past weekend. There was a lot. Yeah. Also, well, I'm going to give a bit of a shameless plug at this point when we're talking about that competitive piping. I have to give a big mention to Eric Evenhouse, who was our correspondent over there in the United States, who did manage to capture quite a number of videos from the Las Vegas Highland Games, and they're up there now on our YouTube channel. So if you are curious as to the music that was played in the circle there in sunny Las Vegas, then do go over there to the Big Rab Show on YouTube. Yeah. Also, I have to give a mention to the Lisbeg Pipe Band, who celebrated their 75th anniversary by a big concert. We did plug that last week. We had cameras at that as well. So the footage from that will be up there on our YouTube channel as well. So yeah, full congrats to everyone involved in that concert, by the way. To the County Armagh School of Drum Majors, who've done a fantastic display with dancers and everything. It was very, very cool. Also to Louise Smighton as well, at her drum majoring display. I think she done 2 of them, actually, on the night, which was really entertaining. And of course, for us, the headline act, the Lisbeg Pipe Band, who really did thump out some big tunes on the night. Full congrats to everybody there. Yeah. All right, now I did say we're not doing news and updates, and that was a few news and updates, I guess. Just a few. But we haven't delved into anything from the Ulster Championships. I've been hearing from all accounts that the event itself was just a roaring success, and full congratulations to everyone involved, honestly. From what I've been told, the venue at Cookstown High School worked incredibly well. It all ran to clockwork, and there was no big issues or problems. So fantastic. I love to hear reports like that. So, as I say, we will get into the results and all of the proper news and updates in a future Rab Show pod, where we will get into all of that detail. All right? So, again, apologies, folks. I do need to keep this train a-moving, I guess. So, with that being said, let's give a little nod to our sponsors, and I'll be right back after this. Do you wish piping could be fun again? Bagpipers around the world continue to struggle with their instrument, despite hours of hard work trying to get better. Bagpiping should be fulfilling. Your hard work should pay off, showing improvement and the freedom to express yourself musically. Or why do it? The Dojo University believe every piper should be able to free themselves from musical frustration, proven over more than a decade of successful teaching and accessible anywhere with an internet connection. The Dojo is unlike any other bagpipe learning experience in the world. Let the Dojo channel your enthusiasm into a fun and fulfilling program that will empower you with the knowledge to fall in love with piping all over again. So go to dojouniversity.com/Big Rab and take advantage of our 30-day free trial of Dojo Premium membership. Join the global community of students today and rediscover the fun of bagpiping. dojouniversity.com/Big Rab for a 30-day free trial. Ready to take your playing to the next level? Say hello to the ES Session Chanter, the ultimate practice chanter designed for versatility and durability. Crafted from stainless steel and aluminium, the chanter comes equipped for both an A stem and a B flat stem, giving you the freedom to play along with any instrument, anytime, anywhere. Whether at a band practice or a trad session, the ES Session Chanter keeps pace with your creativity. Included with the chanter is the custom carbon carry case, the perfect addition to this compact and tactile instrument. To get yours, head to essessionchanter.co.uk. There you are. That's a little handshake to those folks who help support us here on the Big Rab Show, helping keep the wheel turning. Yeah, and again, I know I've already plugged it, but yeah, go over there to Patreon, click support, and you can help support us too. Indeed. All right, so now we have been working on a lot of future episodes. All right, now, just in case you're wondering, what's going on with the podcast right now and why can't Rab do a full episode with news and stuff? I'm going through a lot of personal stuff and all the rest, and I will hopefully update you in a later show. But, for now, no news and updates and stuff, but there is a lot of podcasts in the works, I have to say. Yeah. Can we talk about the Five Polis concert that's happening this weekend? Woo! Yeah, Dancing on the Beat is happening this weekend, and man, I could not be more ready for this show. Five Polis have been teasing this now for the longest time. If anyone's been following on their social media, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, they've been publishing little teaser clips and stuff and little snippets of what the band could be up to on stage, and we couldn't be more excited for this. So, as I said, if you are going to be heading to the Aberdeen Music Hall this weekend for the concert, then you're going to be in for an absolute treat. Ourselves in the Big Rab Show, of course, we will be there. We do plan to capture a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff from this. Yeah, so we've been invited along, of course, and to bring our cameras with us, so we will be delving into all of that goody extra stuff, I guess. So we'll grab as much as we can, and that'll all be on our YouTube channel. And of course, there'll be a lot of exclusives over there for Patreon subs as well. So expect a bit of a podcast next week, giving you a full update from everything from the Five Polis concert. It's very exciting, I have to say. I can't wait for that. But not only are Five Polis in concert, but the National Youth Pipe Band of Scotland are also going to be in concert in Glasgow. Now, this is just unfortunate timing on our behalf. Obviously, we would have loved to have been able to cover this concert as well in the Glasgow Royal Concert Hall, but unfortunately, the folks there at Five Polis, they booked us first. There you are. So, yeah, unfortunately, we don't have enough team members to be able to cover both shows. So, that's a bit gutting, I guess, but hey, I don't know, there's going to be a wealth of great piping across two blistering concerts this weekend from Five Polis and the National Youth Pipe Band of Scotland. And I think there may well still be some tickets available for both. That could be stuff that Rab got wrong. But yeah, if you are curious, then do go and check out the respective box offices at the Glasgow Royal Concert Hall for the National Youth Band and for the Aberdeen Music Hall, of course. Go and check out Bucksburn District, who are hosting it. And this is shaping up to be such a huge show. I'm really looking forward to seeing Five Polis. Oh, and the National Youth Band too. It's going to be brilliant stuff. So, yes, we will do our best to cover every aspect of both concerts this weekend. We want to wish both bands the very best. And, if you do want to catch any of that action at all, then, follow us on our socials and we'll do our best. Indeed. So expect a full podcast on that next week. You know, as we're playing catch-up, I guess. We will have news, updates, all that kind of stuff. But, yeah, we will be bringing you a lot of the action from the Five Police concert at this weekend. Yeah. All right, well, I didn't say I'm not doing news and updates. And what am I doing right now? I'm doing news and updates. All right, I need to fly on. Sorry again. I know I need to keep the train moving, folks. So let's get into this week's topic, shall we? I think it's time for me to go and get a big cup of tea. It's time for the topic of the week. Kingdom Thistle Pipe Band Supplies. For all your pipe band and marching band needs. Supplying everything from uniforms and instruments to custom-designed bass drum heads. They offer it all. Not forgetting their exclusive Kingdom Ghillie Brogues and George Boots, crafted by bands for bands. Kingdom Thistle provides expert product advice and an industry-leading drum refurbishment service to keep your equipment in top-class condition. Also, shipping worldwide. So, stop by their store in Fife or visit them online at kingdomthistle.com for all your pipe band and marching needs. Wallace Bagpipes. Quality, pride and passion. Made in Scotland. Proud bagpipe supplier to the Red Hot Chili Pipers. From the most basic of sets to the most elaborate, they have something for everyone. Also offering bagpipe repairs and restoration. From a simple makeover to a full overhaul. From a chipped mount to a complete replacement. Wallace Bagpipes have you covered. Visit wallacebagpipes.com for more information or contact your nearest dealer.
Hi, this is Elias Alexander, and you're listening to The Big Rab Show.
Yes, I know. I'm back. I didn't really stop for a cup of tea there, to be honest. I just sort of, as I'm saying, I'll keep the train moving. Folks, again, I don't know. This seems like such a weird episode, and I don't know. It's horrible to not have to do news and updates, but yeah, it is what it is. We literally do not have the time, because I'm sure by the time this episode is published and it's done, and I've only just managed to get it published before midnight tonight. So, wow. Anyway, Wednesday night is podcast night, and sometimes circumstances may not allow for it, but I do my best. All right, speaking of doing my best, we recorded a previous interview, actually, with a bit of a bagpiping star who has went ultra viral here in the UK specifically, but also around the globe. Anna Smart. Yeah. Now, we know Anna quite well. She performed at one of our previous Big Rab Show lives at Piping Live. So we're well aware of Anna and her piping prowess. Well, thanks to recent posts on social media, we're aware that Anna has now, she's went back to study bagpiping after kind of falling out of the bagpiping world for a couple of years and then, falling back in love with bagpiping again. So we get to hear that story. So we did reach out to Anna and said, hey, we know you're away at the United States right now at Tartan Day, but see, whenever you land back and you've finished having a good time, can you sit down and have a chat with us in the Rab Show? So she did. So here it is. Let's welcome Anna to the pod. Anna, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks so much for having me on. This is great.
You're very welcome. Well, if anything, it's been a long time coming because, for people who don't know who you are, I don't know why, because you're quite famous at the moment. You went kind of viral. But your first introduction to ourselves here in the Rab Show was you were one of our soloists at Rab Show Live.
Yes.
That was a while ago, wasn't it?
I think that must have been, maybe 2019.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
2019, and you did a wee showcase at Piping Live that I played
That's
at.
right.
It was under G1 Reeds. That was it. That was very fun.
You talk about a lot of crack. And possibly a lot of stories that we've never really broadcast, but such a great event that was. So, I have to say then, need to get into your piping background then, Anna. So how did you first come across the bagpipes?
So I actually talk about this story quite a lot on my TikTok, but and it comes up quite a few times because I think people look at me and they go, "Why are you playing pipes?" and like, "Why are you continuing to play pipes?" And but honestly, it came from so I have quite a sporting family, quite a busy family as well. Like everyone's always off doing things and stuff, and I had grown up kind of doing a lot of dancing, cheerleading, tap and jazz, ballroom, hip hop, all that kind of stuff.
Wow, yeah.
And just decided to give it up. I gave up everything.
Right.
And my parents were like, no, you need to have something. You need to have some sort of hobby. And so there was always that thing of like, okay, well, Highland or maybe Irish dancing. And I was like, no, I don't want to do it. And the thing is with me, if I don't want to do something, I'm quite stubborn in that way that I'm like, no, I won't do it. I'll maybe say yes and be like, yeah, but then I'll not put any effort into it. I was at a family function, and at this point, my parents were like, you need to have something. They're asking me almost like every week, you need to have something. At this family function, we were greeted by a piper. And she had long blonde hair. She's quite a young girl. And I remember just like having this like bing moment being like, that's it. That's me. That's what I'm gonna do. And I kind of just banked that thought. And so then I remember the exact moment my dad asked me, Anna, what do you want to do? We were driving down the main road in our little village, and I said, I want to play bagpipes. And he pulled the car over and he was like, what? We don't even know anyone that plays bagpipes. And that was it. Mine made up. And from there, we went to, got in contact with Neil Cameron from Inverkeithing High School pipe band, which it used to be. I think it's West Fife Schools now.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, they said no, she's too young. So I was 6 years old at the time, and they said no, she's too young. And so I went back to the next practice, and he was like, "You're here again?" Like she won't stop talking about it. And so I think the start age was around 9, but so they let me start at 6. And from there it was 4 practices a week, and that was it.
And the
Obsessed.
rest was history.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. Well, I have to say, you've had quite a fantastic story in bagpiping, but you did step away from it for a period of time.
Yeah,
Can you tell us about that?
totally. So I think other pipers during lockdown really hunkered down, really loved it. And I fell out of love with it when I was in lockdown. Unfortunately, it was just one of those things that maybe wasn't quite in the right situation for me at the time. My family lived in New Zealand. I was alone in Scotland, and yeah, it was kind of those couple of years where I was like, I really don't know what I want to do. Um, and then, you're not out at the games, you're not being pushed to do anything. I really like a challenge, and I thrive off of getting pushed to do things.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that push. So yeah, I kind of slowly but surely took a step back from um playing solos. And at this point I wasn't in any sort of gig band or didn't play with any other instruments. So
Hmm.
it was basically just me. And then yeah, so that was kind of unfortunate. And I was 19 when lockdown came about. So that's like quite an important age for solo piping.
Yeah,
You're out of the juniors, you're getting into the seniors. And at that point I was doing quite well. I was getting quite good prizes, and yeah,
absolutely.
it's
Yeah.
just
Hmm.
unfortunate. So from there, I kind of slowly started taking a step away, and then I had pleurisy for the first time. So if you don't know
Mm.
what pleurisy is, it's inflammation of the lining of your lungs. So the first time I
Yes.
had it, I was out for 3 months, out of work, out of even the thought of playing bagpipes, and then it started recurring. So every few months for about 2 years, I was in and out of the hospital with it. There's no cure for it.
Mm.
So this is when I was starting to be like, I'm never playing pipes again.
Yeah, it
Never
sounds
playing.
pretty horrific, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah,
What are
yeah.
the sort of symptoms of pleurisy? Can you explain that?
So yeah, absolutely. So it feels like a sharpness in your breath when you're kind of inhaling. So
Mm.
it almost feels like there's no protection between your ribs and your lungs. And it's
Right.
really
Yeah.
painful to breathe. You're put on quite strong medication.
Mm.
Unfortunately, the medication made me really sick as well. So yeah, it was quite a lot of different factors. So I got to a point where I was like, I'm not enjoying my full-time job. I'm not enjoying being out of the piping world. I need to give this a really good crack. And I'd always wanted to do the RCS degree, but honestly, I'd never just gone and done it. And I'd kind of been put off by other pipers, weirdly enough.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
and I was like, no, I need to go and do this. I need to go and do this, but I need to sort my health out. So I did like a full year of just building my health back up, making sure like, I was eating the right things, trying to reduce inflammation in my body. And yeah, so I obviously feel a lot better now.
Yeah.
I try and keep myself as healthy as possible. Um, but yeah, playing pipes and doing that full time now is they say that when something's right for you, it feels easy, and it feels easy. Like
Yeah.
although it's such a hard instrument, it feels easy to be where I am at the moment, which is lovely.
You are. That's fantastic. And if anything, Anna, I hope you don't mind me saying, I mentioned it earlier about you being quite famous now, but you have went quite viral on social media because you've been documenting your journey of refinding the music again. People are
Totally.
really engaging with that. Can you tell me how you found the reaction online?
I honestly I couldn't believe it. I, you know, I've always posted stuff on Instagram or maybe like the random wee thing on TikTok, but it was never pipe related. And I was always really scared to do that. I think growing up in New Zealand and stuff, and I was always like, oh, that's the girl that plays the bagpipes, and she's Scottish, and I think there's always that in the general public's eye, there's always that weirdness about it,
Yeah.
which hasn't deterred me before, but when you put yourself out online, you're ready for getting any sort of comment there is.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
but yeah, it was honestly just a New Year's resolution. I was like, right, okay, from the 1st of January, I'm just going to start posting more, even if it was what I do in a day going to uni. And that's
Yeah.
literally the first one that went viral for me was going on the train to uni, going to my classes, playing a little practice session. And that's how I got the BBC interview, and that's how I've got really cool gigs out of that.
Yeah.
And it just shows you just post, just post whatever it is, even if it's something really random or it's really short. Yeah, I never expected that to happen at all. And
Yeah.
and all the comments have generally been really, really lovely.
Yeah, it's been fantastic to see. And for a lot of people, it's been inspirational too. If anything, a lot of people now are looking towards the RCS and the course that you're doing. And a lot of people are going, hold on, if Anna's doing that and she's enjoying it, maybe I can too. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you did mention about some pipers put you off the course. Now, I've heard that myself. Some pipers would talk about how tough it is and how much practice you need to do. But
Mhm.
with you doing your TikToks and stuff, you kind of explain what a day looks like, and it's
Totally.
helped put people's mind at ease, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, I actually found the way that they put me off wasn't oh, you need to do all this practice and everything like that. I don't mind that. I know what it takes to work hard and I'll do it. But it was more so people going, what are you going to get out of that? What
Oh,
happens when you
yeah.
get the degree at the end,
Mm.
or what happens, where are you going from that? And I was always like, oh, okay, yeah, I understand that. But honestly, see, in my first year there, I have had so many opportunities just from being at the RCS that it's crazy,
Yeah.
and gig opportunities, TV opportunities, job opportunities, and I'm not shy about saying that I'm a mature student there. I'm honestly about 6 or 7 years older than most of the students, which has its ups and downs for sure. But but I'm taking out of it what I put into it. The
Yeah.
stakes are high for me. I'm not coming out of um coming out of school and kind of straight back into education. I've lived a life I've had a couple full-time jobs
Mm.
and I've been around the world and stuff, and I've still decided to come back and do that degree. And I'm getting so much out of it. The things I've learned in my first year are just unbelievable. Even just interacting with the trad world side of things, you get
Yeah.
to meet so many people.
Well, that's it exactly. And it kind of gives you a really broad range of all things piping. Like it's not all competition and it's
Yeah.
not all trad. It's like a combination of all areas of music, I guess. Yeah. So honestly, if you are looking for a spokesperson for the RCS, Anna, you're it at the moment. Yeah. It's, it's fantastic. But, well, yeah, for more information on that, you can go onto their websites, look at all the links. And hey, if you end up applying for the course, then drop us an email and let us know and say a big thanks to Anna. There you go. But you're only just back from quite an awesome trip to the United States. Anna, tell us about this.
Yeah, so we went to New York Tartan Week for the first time last year, and we went with the Washington tattoo.
Mm.
So we did essentially what we did last year, but this year it was just on a even bigger scale. I can't even believe the trip. I come home and I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know how to go on now. It's crazy. So anyway, so Mark Riley with the Washington tattoo, he invited me and the Rollin Drones out.
Yeah.
And so we went to Washington first, or we were supposed to, but flights got delayed. We ended up in New York, had to train to Washington. Yeah, it was a nightmare. But Yeah, so we went to Washington and we have a full day of rehearsals when we get in. And we're playing with different bands, dancers. Edinburgh Tattoo was over for the first time this year as well.
Yeah.
And so we were playing at the George Washington University Listener Auditorium. So it was right in town. It's absolutely beautiful. And so yeah, we have one full day of rehearsals and then there's two shows the next day, which, if the rehearsal doesn't go very well, and for us, our instruments didn't arrive in Washington until
Yeah.
8 p.m. that day, it was difficult. It was difficult. It really pushes you to the limits of what you can do as a musician. And I'm
Yeah.
still learning as well. There's a lot of stage jargon, like stage left,
Mm.
upstage, downstage. And I'm really thankful that our lead singer, Heather Robertson, she comes from a theatrical background. And she's like, that means over there, or this means this. And kind of
Brilliant.
translate
Yeah.
that to a bagpiper. I'm like, I've never done this before, So it can be quite daunting. So anyway, we had the two shows and they went amazing. The nighttime show was sold out, which was great. And then yeah, after that we were invited to a VIP event at Decatur House, which is directly across from the White House. And yeah, just got to chat and meet like some really cool people. Got to see some other members of cast that we don't usually work with, and then some kind of high up people as well, which was really lovely. And yeah, so just mingled, and then the infamous bar video of me standing on top of the table at the bar appeared after that when we went to the bar. And yeah, so we did that. I managed to start a tradition of piping them back to the hotel, which was in my mind at that time it felt like 5 minutes, but it was actually like 20 minutes away of me playing.
Oh boy.
Um, yeah, so when we're in Washington, we also go round and we do volunteer work. So we play at a veterans hospital and we play at
Oh,
two
brilliant.
schools.
Yeah.
One of them was an embassy school for all the kind of British embassy
Mm.
students, and then one of them was an opportunity school. So the average kind of age ranges from 18 to 24, and these
Mm.
are students who have quite unfortunate backgrounds. And
Yeah.
so yeah, honestly, that was my favorite. They were absolutely lovely, and they really got up and they kind of played alongside us, and they were able to you know, take a bit of our culture and come and dance with us. We taught them Kaylee and stuff, which was lovely. So yeah, we do that, and then they take us down to New York. And so, we had days off in between, but these days off you're networking and you're playing, you're going to the Washington Monument and playing, taking little bits of content, which is
Yeah.
which is which is great, and this is why, our page has done so well, and my TikTok's done well as well. So yeah, we went to New York, and when we got there, our first oh goodness, our first port of call was played in Times Square, which was very, very cool.
Yeah. I have to ask you about that. Sorry to stop you there, but
Yeah, that's okay.
Anna, what a moment
Oh,
with yourself, the Highland dancers. I think that was the Scott dancers, isn't that
yeah,
right?
yeah, oh Scott, yeah.
Oh my word. What a
Yeah,
video.
it was amazing. So I
Yeah.
actually have to give credit to our lead singer, Heather, for that. She was like, come
Yeah.
on, you have to do it. It'll be really fun. And I was so jet lagged. I was so tired, probably
Yeah.
very grumpy, and was like, okay, okay. I know this is a good thing, but I really I'm so tired right now. So anyway, just slapped on some makeup, got my kilt on. And then once you're there, the energy of it is just amazing.
Yeah.
And so you're just yeah, once you're there, it's just amazing. And so we were able to go in there and just play. You don't need a permit to play or anything like that, or at least I don't think you
Right.
do. And
It
so
did seem very impromptu, like it just
yeah,
happened
it
naturally, is
was.
the thing.
And
Yeah.
because there's so many performers there and there's so many acts and people are just darting in and out all over. Oh,
Hmm.
um, it's just crazy. So anyway, they see bagpipes, I strike them up, I'm tuning them. They're kind of like, oh, what's happening here? Yeah, and then we had STV correspondents film us as well when we were there, which was pretty amazing. Did a little interview. But yeah, it was just the reason we did it was just so that we could promote our show and get some content and just have a good time really. And
Yeah.
honestly, it was just the best experience. And those girls are amazing. The dancers they're
Yeah.
so talented and they're so good. So
That's it. And they looked to be having the best time as well.
yeah,
And they got the crowd
yeah,
involved, and it was just a really cool
totally,
moment. Yeah,
totally, yeah, absolutely.
absolutely. So
So
then
yeah,
after that happened and all of the madness, then you were into even more stuff after that.
yeah, that was just the start of it. The next day, I had a solo gig, so I was very, very lucky to be asked to play at Cafe Cool's pop-up in Albert's Bar. Now, Cafe Cool's run by Claire. She has this cafe in Skye, and she was doing a pop-up event at Albert's Bar, which is just the most beautiful, elegant New York bar. So
Mm.
I played there. I took one of the dancers along with me. And yeah, it was just a really cool little event. And then the 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 bar owner was like, "Here, I've seen your video of you standing on top of a bar table." I'm like, "Yeah, it seems to be a bit of a trend now for me." Um, and he's like, "Would you mind?" Maybe coming in and you can do a loop around the bar. They had a massive bar in the middle.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, sure. So did that and then went up to the event at the top. So that was the first event in the evening. Then we went to the Ceilidh and we were just there with our friends. And then we played at Alan Cummings nightclub at night. So that was a
Nice.
sold out Hooli show by Craig Weir. And so
Hmm.
that was really, really cool. That was awesome. It ran really late. We were there until 2 a.m., I think.
Oh boy.
And then up at 7 a.m. to do the
Oof.
parade and
Yeah.
sound check. So yeah, all of the days
Yikes.
were just jam-packed,
There you
but
go.
it was amazing.
So tell us about the parade then as well. I've talked to a few of the band's folk that were involved in it, but with yourself
Yeah.
with the Rollin Drones, how did you guys find it?
Yeah, it was great. So I always find the parade quite funny because we on stage we have such a massive stage presence. We're very loud and in your face. But in a parade like that, that's full of, you know, um fife and drum corps and
Yeah.
pipe bands and all that kind of stuff. Um yeah, it's you're a little person and in a big sort of parade, really. So
Yeah.
we were actually positioned in between fife and drum corps and a pipe band, which was
Oh
lovely.
wow. Sandwiched
Um,
in between that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, trying to go along to like my tunes that I'm playing for the dancers who are dancing to me playing, whilst
Yeah.
there's like two different drum beats and yeah, it
Oh,
was it was
what? Yeah.
yeah, it was funny, but I honestly seeing those situations, I kind of get a wee bit silly, and I just go up to the crowd and get in their face and kind of run along the side of the barriers and stuff, and it's really good fun. It's really good fun, and some of the photos that have come out of that have just been either I'm pulling silly faces, I'm smiling, I'm trying to concentrate, like listening into the drum beats and stuff, but yeah, it's so much fun, and there's so many people come out for it. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. Even in the rain, it was
Mm.
raining for this year's parade, which, you're kind of like, oh, it's a bit of a bummer, but we playing that every day here, so
No, there you go. That's one of the things I mentioned on the show last week. It was the crowds were just unbelievable. And they stood there in the lashing rain cheering for everybody, It just
Yeah,
seemed to be
yeah,
great.
yeah.
So obviously now Rollin Drones, you're all back again in the UK. So yeah, now clearly a lot more people are paying attention to what you folks are doing. So have you any gigs or that coming up where everyone can go and see
Yeah,
you live?
yeah, of course. So we are playing at the Cardale Music Festival. We
Right.
also have a few Phage festivals coming up on
Right.
Isla and a couple other islands. And then we will have a few festivals that we're playing at in the summer. If you go to our band websites, dates page, you can see all of the public gigs you're able to go to.
Yeah.
That's better than me telling you specific dates. I'll probably get them wrong. But yeah, there's like a link on our Instagram, all our socials,
Yeah.
and you'll be able to go there and see and get tickets, or some of them are free. So
There you go. Absolutely. So that link will be in our show notes right now, depending on where you're listening or watching this. So Anna, I have to say, well done in your work, I guess, with the Rollin Drones, but also I'm really personally really happy to see that you've rediscovered the music again.
thank
It's been
you.
fantastic following your journey, honestly. And if anything, if you don't mind me saying, you are quite an inspirational figure for a lot of women who've been watching you and perhaps thinking, I want to do that, you know?
Yeah.
So do you ever find yourself like in that position now, thinking about, potentially people will be seeing you on social media now and all of that?
Yeah, of course, of course. And if I can inspire even just some little girls or women who maybe like me fell out of love for it for a few years or more than a few years, that would be amazing for them to realize that, it's hard work taking it back up, but honestly, it's so rewarding. And yeah, I think as well, you know, being in all these countries is amazing and it's great, and I'm very, very lucky. This is not what I had planned at all. I had never played with other instruments, or I always grew up in a very competitive sense, and
Mm,
I always grew up in playing solos or playing pipe bands, and I one day thought, yeah, I would be in pipe bands my whole life. And I've n now realized that it's not really what I'm into anymore. I still love my solos and I
yeah,
really love gigging, but you kind of change, and that's okay as well. You know what you once did might not always be what you do.
yeah,
Um and yeah, I think with an instrument like pipes that are modernizing and they're so interchangeable and there's so many opportunities. We still sometimes have that mindset that it's very niche and the road is very narrow and you've only got a certain amount of options.
yeah.
Um, but honestly, the options are absolutely endless. I'm working on a few projects at the moment that I honestly can't believe are happening, and some of them are crazy, some of them are really important, and yeah, these things. I don't want to say they've happened to me because I have worked hard
Yeah.
and and I have put myself out there. And I genuinely think if I didn't put myself out there on social media, which I think everybody has to do now to get some sort of presence, I don't think I would have had the opportunities that I've had. And also, if I hadn't been asked to cover a gig for the Rollin Drones, I would never have had the opportunities I've had with them either. So yeah, I think a lot of it's been luck, but a lot of it's been hard work too. So
Well,
yeah,
that's it
I,
too. That's what I was going to say. It does help that you're a bloody good bagpiper. Do you know what I mean? It really helps. But Anna, I have to say again, huge thank you for joining us on the show this week, and we'll continue following your career with interest, of course. But yeah, I'm hoping that I'm going to see you playing on more bar tables now in future.
oh,
That's a
I
lot of
think
fun.
I think that's my thing now. That might be a
Yeah,
trademark thing.
you should trademark
I'm
that.
just
Yeah.
I'm just waiting on the day that the table Concave, and that's me. That's another viral video of a bagpiper falling off a table.
Oh God, no, don't say that. No. Wow. Anna, I'll let you go. Thank you so much. Again, just to remind our listeners, if you do want to check out all the details to do with the Rollin Drones, links in your show notes right now. And Anna, best to you and the guys at the Rollin Drones. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. It's been so much fun. Thank you.
There you are. Fantastic. Do you know, it is honestly brilliant to be able to carve out that little bit of time. Anna is incredibly busy, and yeah, we're very appreciative of her taking the time to chat with us here on the pod. As we've said, if you do want any more information on the band or any of Anna's work, of course, then you can go and check the links in your show notes right now, rollindrones.org, and for full details. Yeah, there's tons of different shows in that lined up for the rest of this year, as well as a brand new album called The Twa Keys. You can go and get that as well. Definitely worthy adding to your collection. Yeah. All right. Well, folks, that's it for another Big Rab Show pod. I know it's been a weird one, and trust me, it's ultra weird for me too. Yeah, I definitely would have loved to have had the time to sit down and chat to everybody and go through everything that happened over this past week, because there was a lot. Yeah. I guess if you are really aggrieved, like we've already mentioned, you can email us in, bigrabshow@gmail.com, and we do our best to bring your thoughts and queries to a future episode of the show. And we will do our best to get caught up. I know there's a lot from the Ulsters, from Vegas, from everywhere else. There's just way too much. We will do our best to get caught up in a future episode. There you are. Folks, it's been an interesting episode this week. Again, a huge thank you to Anna Smart and to the Rollin Drones for taking time to chat with us here. To tell us all about their band and their work. It's been brilliant. Yeah. Folks, I am out the door. Thank you all for downloading this episode this week. And it'll be business as usual next week, as we have quite a special episode planned for you. Coverage from the Fife Polis concert. Ooh, that'll be a good one for sure. All right, folks, I'm out the door. I'll see you all next week. All the best. Well, that's it for another Big Rab Show podcast. Thanks so much for downloading this week, and a special thank you to our sponsor, G1 Reeds. Played by bands around the world, they are the champion's choice. Check out g1reeds.com for all of your piping needs. Don't forget to check out thebigrabshow.com to be kept up to date with all of the latest news and views from around the piping world. And also, check us out on Patreon. For $5 a month, you can get your hands on tons of extra piping goodness and be a part of the Patreon faithful. So, until next week, folks, we'll see you right here on the Big Rab Show podcast. All the best.